Hello and welcome. Today, I'm here with Destiny Holmes of the Self Caring Co. And I am so excited to be here with Destiny. And I really want to thank you for being a sponsor of the Self Care to Wellness Bundle. I'm super excited to be here with you and to have this conversation with you. So let's just dive right in. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization and the work that you're most passionate about right now?
Hey, Cassie. Thank you so much for having me do this interview and being a sponsor. Self Caring Co. is a self development company focused on helping women prioritize themselves. I want women to be able to have high self worth, walk into rooms with confidence, set boundaries without guilt, and just advocate for themselves and also teach that to their children, all the women in their lives.
I love that because that's something that's really necessary. I really like the part that you said about being able to teach that to the children in their lives and have the next generation of women to grow up like strong and confident within themselves. Love it. So what was it that drew you into the world of self-care and stress management in the first place?
So it was kind of on accident. I got out of a bad relationship and I was so focused on them and not myself. I wanted the relationship so badly. Then it came to a point that I just had to realize that I needed to care about myself. And from that moment, I just started to take the necessary steps to help me put myself first, setting boundaries, trying to actually get to know myself, know what I like. I always feel like we should treat ourselves like we treat people when we're interested in them. That we want to like know their favorite color and what they like and all these things, but we should be curious about ourselves and know these things about ourselves. So I was basically doing that, getting to know myself after a year of that because before after that at the end of that relationship I was so my self-worth was so low. It was so low, like I didn't know how to set boundaries. I was a people pleaser. I was only worried about what you wanted, trying to make somebody else happy, being nice because maybe if I'm nice and that makes me a good person, but I'm doing everything at the expense of myself. So it was that. And then after I came out that period, I said, I have something I can give to others. And so that's when I like started trying to see how can I do this and what can I create to give to others. So basically everything that I have is my own learnings and teaching that I learned along the self-care journey. And I do think there's a certain way to go about it and things that you should learn first. Doing certain things makes the next thing easier, basically. Low self-worth, something had to change. And then self-care and co came out of that.
I love what you said about getting to be curious about yourself and learning about yourself. I think so many women have experienced exactly what you talked about, kind of losing ourselves and the
Yeah.
essence of who we are when they get into relationships with other people, and just being able to take that time and be curious about yourself and learn about yourself. That's a truth bomb right there that we all need to do and something that we all need to be able to follow. I love that so much. With everything that you have going on, I know that as an entrepreneur, you're really busy. So for you, what does self-care look like in your everyday life? What is at least one realistic self-care practice that you do that makes a noticeable difference in your life?
This is kind of not a practice, but so I have a quiz. It's like what's your self care style? So I'm kind of a free spirit when it comes to self care. So I don't like rely on one thing or have a strict routine. I'm not like into the routine thing. I think we should be able to do what we need and adapt to our needs. One of my favorite self care practices that I do, I call it an impromptu workout. I'm too busy. I can't make it to the gym, even though the gym is like across the street from my house, but never
It
mind.
happens. That happens.
I'm too busy doing work, and then I have a 3-year-old and everything in between. My impromptu workout, I literally take any moment in which I'm doing another thing and use it to work out. So if I go to the grocery store when I'm walking back to my house or to the car, I like lift the bags, like I curl them.
Oh, I love this. I love this so much. Keep
So
going because I love
I
this.
find all these ways. I remember for like a week one time, I have a dog. So me and my daughter would go out onto the balcony in the morning and she would throw the ball and she would run that way. And I'd be on the floor and I'd be doing crunches. And then she'd run back. I'd catch her, We laugh, and then she do it again, and I be doing my crunches. So like whenever I can get it in, when I take her to the park, I take bands with me, and I like wrap the bands, and I'm like, the moms are like, okay, and I'm like, yeah, I have to get it in when I can. I don't
Ah,
know, there's no set time I work out. Like I just make it up in the moment. Like if it can
ah.
fit, if I can kind of squeeze it in while I'm doing something else,
Mhm.
then that's where the workouts are coming at. It's impromptu.
See, that is amazing. I love this too. The flexibility is key because I think, like what you're saying, a lot of women get caught up in I have to have this strict routine and it has to
Yeah,
be like exactly 12 minutes of deep breathing every Thursday at
yeah,
9 p.m. Like, no, no, life is lifing. It doesn't always work like that. So I like the fact that you are making time when other people would think that you wouldn't necessarily have time in order to work out and do something that cares for you. Because at Master Your Stress, one of the things that we're really passionate about is practical self-care and being
yeah,
able to fit self-care into your life in a way
yeah,
that works for your life and not like the other way around. So I
exactly.
love that impromptu self-care. So there's another truth bomb back to back to back. A lot of women struggle with self-care and being able to add self-care and stress management into their lives. So when they struggle with this, what do you believe is usually happening beneath the surface?
Because my personal journey came from low self worth, I think it's usually something to do around deservingness. Feeling like you can, that you're capable. I seen a post recently and it said, I stopped giving my husband the nice plate. It said I stopped giving my husband the nice plate because he don't even care about that. But in my head, I think I'm doing something and giving him the nice looking plate when I'm actually dismissing the part of me that wants this thing. It comes from that, from thinking, oh, I can't do it. Like, who am I? I should worry about other people first and things like this. One of my favorite comes down to the thing that I contributed for the bundle of setting boundaries,
Mhm.
and I have no problem with setting boundaries
Oh,
because
love
I
it.
know how to
Yes.
do it. I know that I am worth the respect that I should be listened to
Mhm.
and things like this. And if you don't believe these things for yourself, then setting boundaries or taking care of yourself, carving out time, that can be hard to do.
Okay. No, this is absolutely true. On that same vein, what do you think is a mindset shift that can help women prioritize themselves or prioritize self-care without all that pesky guilt getting in the way?
I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier about being curious about yourself. We need to be in a relationship with ourselves first because we are the most important person in our lives. So if we can do that, then we can show up for ourselves, give ourselves what we need.
Hmm.
You can think about it like two lovers, right? Lover A, lover B. One person shows up, they buy you nice things, they text you to let you know they're thinking about you, they speak kindly to you. The other one is like in and out, like just write you whenever, want you to like make time when they say you make time, kind of says some things, and you're like, nah, whatever. Who would you want to be with? What kind of partner do you need to be for yourself? You need to be somebody that listens to yourself. That when you feel something's off, say like, no, I need to listen to that, not go against it. When you want something, do it. Find out what you like, as I said. Be in a relationship with yourself, curious with yourself. And if you can do that, then maybe you can start to take care of yourself without feeling guilty because you know that you don't feel guilty when you take care of that new person that you like.
This,
or
this
it
is
can, or
true.
your mom, your sister, your brother. If you do something for someone else, you don't feel bad about it. One other thing, I seen this question on Reddit. It said, "Why is it so easy for us to care for others, but not for ourselves?" And I thought about that, and I said, it's because we can't see ourselves.
Mm,
Every day we are looking outwardly. We see other people, we experience them, we're listening to them, but we don't actually see ourselves. We walk in a bathroom maybe a few times a day and it's brief. You glance at yourself, wash your hands, leave. But if
mhm.
we could just get in the practice of seeing ourselves more and actually trying to look at ourselves and see what we need and actually ask ourselves, maybe look in the mirror and say, what do you need today? In the morning, say, what do you need today? and then make sure you go out and do that thing to give yourself what you need.
I love this so much. I'm going to reiterate. Take a look at yourself and ask yourself, what do I need today? A little earlier, you were talking or started talking about the resource that you contributed to the Self Care to Wellness bundle. Tell us a little bit more about it, like what it is, who it's for, and what problem does it solve?
So I contributed a mini course called Before You Set That Boundary. It gives you the tools to get emotional clarity before you walk into the next situation where you're going to express your needs, advocate for yourself. Because a lot of times what happens is you know something's wrong and you're like, okay, I need to say something. And then you just go for it. Or maybe you're in the moment and you just go for it, but you haven't actually got clear about how you feel, what was actually the problem. And then this when you start the conversation, depending on how it goes, this brings up guilt because you start feeling like the bad person, like, oh wait, maybe I'm just tripping. Or maybe the conversation just steers off. This resource, this mini course helps you to stop before you go into the conversation. What actually triggered me? Why am I upset? Because maybe you thought it was one thing, but it was actually something else. What do you need in that situation? How do you feel? How do you feel? How did it make you feel? Because you want to be able to communicate this. You don't want to just say, like, oh, yeah, I didn't like that. And you need to be able to say, I didn't like that. When you did this, I felt like this. And what do you need? I need this in the future. So this course helps you get emotional clarity. So when it's time to set a boundary, you can communicate with confidence, with clarity, with knowing what you need. And when you have that, you're less likely to feel guilty, backtrack. You stand up for your needs because you've already gotten clear with yourself. And now you're just communicating that with the other person. You're not trying to like figure it out with them. I've made the decision for myself. This is how we're going to handle this.
That's excellent. What do you hope that feels different for the person after they use your resource?
I hope that they can feel some peace and understanding and clarity, and as though they listen to themselves, that they actually got in tune with what they need, and that makes setting the boundary a bit easier because I think just about every woman struggles with setting boundaries. So if this resource can make it a little lighter when it comes time to do so, then that would make me happy. There's so much guilt and shame
Yes,
around boundaries. Like I don't think nobody taught us how to set boundaries.
that's
And it's
true.
like like people. I've had a friend recently actually. Something happened, and I wrote her to say like, we haven't talked about it. Would you like to address it because I know this happened? And she was just like, no, we good. And I'm like, so does that mean you're not friends with me? Because me personally, I need a very clear. I need to be very clear. And like she didn't respond, and I'm just like, this is a big thing with boundaries. People think you can just like cut people off, but you shouldn't. We should communicate with people because everybody doesn't have the same boundaries, and somebody may not actually know what they did, even though you think they know. They may not know, and this person is your friend, your mom, your
Someone important to you.
someone important to you. You know,
Yeah.
so you should try to communicate with them.
Tell us a little bit about what you are currently building or excited about in your business, and also how can people stay connected with you?
I am working on a magazine.
Ooh.
I'm really excited about it. It's letting me be creative and just kind of make it what I want it to be. I've always, when I was a kid, I always loved reading magazine, 17 magazine.
Oh yeah, I love
And
that
so
one.
now, so now I'm like being able to create that myself, and like I'm trying to make it fun, like different kinds of interviews and like this or that and astrology. Really make it like a magazine. So I'm really excited about that. If you want to stay connected with me, just go to my website, selfcareandco.com, and you can join our free self care community, download our free course, maybe take one of our quizzes, and I'd love to have you.
That sounds great. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to that somewhere around this video so that people can easily access it. The last question that I have for you is what is your favorite self-care or stress management related quote?
So, my favorite self care quote is, you are doing the best you can with what you have, because it's true. No matter what's going on in your life, what you're doing, the output you're doing, it's at the best capacity at which you can do it based on your circumstances. If you have ADHD, or you have a child with a disability, or you're just in a bad relationship, or you work in three jobs to make it, whatever you're doing and thinking, oh, I'm such a mess about other people do it better than me. Well, they're all messes too, even though you can't tell. And you're actually doing the best you can with what you have. So you should feel really good because you're doing the best you can.
I love it, Destiny. We're all hot messes. That's true. Underneath the surface, like we're the little ducks where they look nice on the surface, swimming along. Underneath their feet are like kind of
Yeah.
paddling. Yes, exactly. It's important, I think, to give yourself grace because even though you feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, loser, what have you, everybody else is going through something themselves. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for taking this little time to spend with me, to be here, and thank you again for being a sponsor of the Self Care to Wellness Bundle. I really enjoyed our time together and this conversation and appreciate you.
You so much, Cassie, for having me. This has been very fun. And thank you for everyone who listened.